Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily. Is Saying Sorry Demoting You? By Kristena Eden of CoreLivingEssentials.com. Question. I'm not sure if I'm way too sensitive or if others just don't value me enough to apologize for their wrongdoings. Perhaps we should just accept that they will never apologize and move on. Yet there is still so much deep pain. Answer. On the other side of the question, when we become aware that we have truly wounded someone, we need to apologize. That doesn't mean that an apology is always warranted. It's not necessary to keep saying I'm sorry for everything. But in answer to this question, we often feel wounded when our core fear has been triggered. Our fear of failure or our fear of loss. A couple of thoughts to keep in mind are, 1, are they offending us because they are in a fear mode? And 2, are we interpreting their actions or comments as an offense because we are in a fear mode? Another issue we have regarding apologies is we as a society tend to view apologies as a sign of weakness. In fact, they require a great amount of character strength. A sincere apology, offered and accepted, is one of the most profound interactions of the human race. It is a powerful builder of damaged relationships. Even with that, we tend to not give it much thought. It's also one of the social skills that is often neglected when teaching our children, and may even be a skill that most of us as adults have not learned very well. To say we are sorry can make us feel our deepest fear, that we have failed or made a mistake. How can we admit that we are lacking in some way? How can we admit that we also struggle with fears and that we are not perfect? Maybe we fear that if we say sorry, that others will take liberty and defend us again. That is a fear of loss, maybe a loss of self-worth or a loss of our standing in our community. And on the other hand, a direct personal offense is the hardest to find peace around. Whether we have been ignored, belittled, betrayed, humiliated, or talked down to, we can feel we have been diminished. That can validate our fear of not being good enough. It can validate that just maybe we're not capable of being who we thought we could be. There are some very good reasons to apologize. Keep in mind, we apologize not just for the other person, but also for ourselves. The biggest reason to apologize or accept an apology is to restore relationships, whether with an intimate relationship, or it could just be that other people need to feel some peace in their lives. Some need to rid themselves of the guilty conscience. They're feeling ashamed and they need some self-respect back. You may have an empathic reason for apologizing. You regret that you lost some integrity in your own life. Whatever the reason for the apology, it doesn't take the shame off your offense and redirect it to yourself. It helps you, the offender and offended, to come to grips with understanding your own fears as well as the fears of the other person. Just knowing that we are all of equal value, that makes the apology and acceptance easier. None of us has more value than another. This thought process allows us to better understand and give love and forgiveness. We can all make a mistake. We can all ask to start again. Just admitting that a moral code has been violated creates a stronger moral ground. It's not as easy as it sounds, nor is it as hard as it sounds. The following is a guideline to make a sincere apology that will make a difference for all involved. Acknowledge to yourself, then to others, that you really may have made a mistake. It needs to be specific and very sincere, and tell why you offended them. Promise that it won't happen again and mean it. The other person needs to know that they can be safe with you in the future. This is the hardest part. The offender needs to feel soul-searching regret, which would mean if they could go back and redo it differently, they would. Is there a debt that needs to be settled? How can the damage be repaired? Nelson Mandela was a man who was considered to have great character and integrity. He apologized for atrocities committed by the African National Congress, and he was not even responsible for that struggle. Quote, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. It always seems impossible until it's done." End quote. He knew the importance of an apology for the healing process. The biggest stumbling block to saying you're sorry is that most of us have a belief that apologizing is a sign of weakness or that it's a sign that we are guilty. In reality, we are not better off ignoring or denying our offenses because they will not go away. The truth is that apologizing and making amends requires strength of character because it makes us vulnerable. Yet we're still good people. The same principle is true of the offended. It takes strength of character to forgive and still love. You just listened to the post titled, "Is Saying Sorry Demoting You?" by Kristena Eden of corelivingessentials.com.
Hi, this is Debbie, your Blinds.com design consultant.
Oh, wow. A real person.
Yep, I am here to help you with everything, from selecting the perfect window treatments
Well, I've got a complicated project.
Oh, not a problem. I can even schedule a professional measure and install. We can also send you samples, fast and free.
I just might have to do more.
Oh, okay.
So the first room we're looking at is for guests.
Shop Blinds.com now and get up to 40% off with minimum purchase. Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This episode is brought to you by Rakuten. If you're shopping while working, eating, or even listening to this podcast, then you know and love the thrill of the hunt. But are you getting the thrill of the best deals? Rakuten shoppers do. They get the brands they love with the most savings and cash back. And you can get it too. Start getting cash back at your favorite stores like Samsung, Expedia, and Sephora. And even stack sales on top of cash back. It's easy to use, and you get your cash back through PayPal or check. The idea is simple. Stores pay Rakuten for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the money with you as cash back. Download the free Rakuten app and never miss a deal. Or go to Rakuten.com to start getting the most bang for your buck. That's RAKUTEN.
And a lot to consider in this article from Kristena, which we thank her for. I guess I would like to remind all people on both sides of an apology, however, that apologies are very nuanced and can come with a lot of complex emotions. And it's always been my belief that these intricacies need to be honored and explored, right? So for example, I love how Kristena offers some opportunity for self-reflection on behalf of the person who has been offended at the beginning when she asked them to think about what the offender might be struggling with, or how we as the offended may be falsely coloring the nature of their upsetting comments or actions. And sometimes this can lead to a false apology, right? So, for the offender, there's a lot of emphasis put on apologizing and meaning it, but sometimes that's hard to do. And we don't want to manufacture something that still doesn't feel truly real, even after we try hard to take full accountability. So, offenders, you may have upset someone, but you're still allowed a space to have a dialogue with them about your struggle to feel as though you were truly out of line and not wanting to shame yourself or feel bad for something that was well-intentioned, that they may not have understood, or whatever. Again, if that's what you're going through. So I think either way, the main points are sincerity, compassion, and communication. Taking all of these steps or exhibiting all of those qualities shows effort. An effort towards love and reconciliation. And that effort should be placed above an apology that doesn't feel right, even though apologies are something you've been told you should do. I hope that makes sense. Time to wrap up, everybody. Thanks a lot for coming today and for listening until the end. It was definitely an article I wanted to offer commentary on, so I hope you find both my ideas and Kristena's ideas to be helpful to you. And I also hope you'll join again tomorrow as we start the week off on the right foot with more relationship building content here on ORD. That is where your optimal life awaits.